My work here is done.
It's the best thing that can happen.
There is a sense of hope.
These kind of stories don't come around.
I hope they'll laugh. I hope they will cry.
Well, it called Mr Loverman, and who is Mr Loverman?
You is a homosexual, Barry. I ain't no homosexual. I am a bisexual.
Mr Loverman is the story of Barrington Jedediah Walker, and he is married to his wife Carmel, and they've been together for 50 years. It is not necessarily a happy marriage. She is convinced that he is being unfaithful. He has actually been in a 60-year love affair with Morris, his best friend.
Look at that.
What happened to us, Barry?
Always very excited to hear that anything of mine is going to be adapted, and then also quite sceptical because a lot of things are optioned that don't come to fruition.
Bernardine is a phenomenal writer. She's not a Booker-winning writer by accident. And the characters that she creates, the worlds that she reflects, is so strong.
I'm a slow reader,
I'm a slow reader.
but I read that book really quickly. I loved it. I found it incredibly moving, funny, and really kind of poignant and harrowing at times as well.
I finished this book in like an afternoon.
It's just a damn good story.
It's the best thing that can happen. My first book adapted for the screen,
Yeah.
and I think they've done an ace job.
Living a double life,
You are a cheat, Barry.
but not in the way that she think.
Yeah, the hardest thing about adapting the novel was really the things that you have to leave out. There's so many great moments, and it spans lifetimes, you know.
For me, it was like one of the most exciting scripts to read. And when I got the audition, I was like, yeah, okay, I've got to be on this. I'm not got no. Got to is just, it's too nice a word. I'm on this.
It's not often I come across a story like this in mainstream media. It's always worth fighting for.
Being able to tell our story of our elder community, our elder gay community, a story that is not seen on television or anywhere, because it's older gay black love, was so important to be a part of. And like Ariyon, when I got the audition, I was like, I know this woman, I know this story, I have to must do it.
The minute you read it, the minute you realise that it's a possibility as a job that might come your way, you do whatever and everything you possibly can to put yourself front and centre and trying to grab a hold of it.
Yeah, put down a set of prayers, man.
Yeah.
Father of Donna and Maxine, husband of Carmel.
Barrington, he was a character I thought I'd never seen on screen before, and I was just really dedicated to having that opportunity to bring him to life.
These kind of stories don't come around too often. And
I've never
over
seen
the
this story
years, we've always waited for us to kind of play the breadth of the storytelling within our community. So when you see something like this that is dealing not only with a queer kind of storyline, but dealing with love between black people, families between black people, it's something that you just touches your heart.
It was really important to me that I write a story about an older black man who is homosexual, because nobody had really done that as far as I know. The Windrush generation who came in the 40s, 50s and 60s, any portrayal of that generation, I think, has been heterosexual. And yet, of course, there would have been a lot of gay people there. And so when Barrington emerged, and he emerged as gay, and he was already married, and you know, he was lovers with his best mate, it just felt like it was a perfect thing to do at this time, to write into that silence, which is what I always do with my books.
I want to tell this story rather than the other tropes that have been made to be told in the past. I don't want to be part of that all the time. Yes, I've done it. You know, I think every single one of us there have done the slave story in one part.
That's how there was for us to do.
That's what we do.
That's what there was for us to do. And
yeah. So
something
now
like
we
this
just
comes along, which is, it's human and it's intelligent, and it's full of heart and heartbreak and angst, but it's joyful and it's uplifting, and it will resonate with people. You know, there's a whole generation that weren't able to talk about their love because of their culture and where they came from. And having them represented and having their story on screen for people to share and experience and get an understanding of is a wonderful thing to be part of.
Representation does matter, and I think visibility does matter.
I think being executive producer, I just wanted to be able to tell people what to do.
Do you not see how shiny his boots are? Because we had to do that every day.
Every day. In telling this story, there were large parts of it where we were physically vulnerable and exposed, and emotionally vulnerable and exposed. And it was important to me that someone was speaking from the actor's perspective. Someone was at the table saying this is going to be tricky for actors, this is not going to be tricky for actors, and making sure that the atmosphere that we were telling this story was one that was safe and one that was supportive, whether you were doing one day or whether you were doing the whole shoot.
I loved seeing Barrington brought to life. I think Lennie James has done the most incredible job. You know, when you write a book, you have a very clear idea of your characters, obviously, because you're their creator. And I had a very strong image of Barrington. And so I think I'm going to be the most critical person of any kind of portrayal of any of my characters because I have them lodged in my head. But I think that Lennie has completely made the character his own while staying faithful to the character that I wrote.
They think they know me.
I hope audiences feel after finishing the series that there is a sense of hope.
I mean, I hope they love it. I hope they'll laugh. I hope they will cry. You know, I hope they'll laugh some more.
The only thing I hope is, me personally, hope is that it engenders some important conversations that we need to have, particularly within our community. They use it as a point of reference and go, you know, like in Mr Loverman, and if it helps people sit people down who they love and get the opportunity to tell them how they love and who they love, and feel able to do that, and if this has any part in that, then my work here is done.
So I hope it opens people's minds to different kinds of narratives of older Caribbean but also older black people in the UK. I hope it shows the audience the power of a love between two black men, because that's one of the most important things I think that comes over through the adaptation. It's this really incredible relationship between these two men that has survived 60 years of all kinds of ups and downs.
A coming out story is hard, no matter where it's come from. It doesn't matter if you're from the Caribbean community, from the Indian community. It's hard for an individual. So if this in any way enables that conversation in the most open and warming way, then we've done something beautiful. This is a difficult conversation. This has gone on for years and years. When 2024 we still have countries where people are, you know, being persecuted for being queer. When you watch something like this, what's been created by Hong, Fable Pictures, by the costume designer Jodie, by Nora Makeup, by Bernardine's beautiful book, Remy, fantastic.
Chris's wonderful set.
Chris's wonderful set. When you see what everyone's put in, they've put in their heart, they put in their way, their version of their coming out. This is what you're seeing on screen.
I hope it opens their minds to black families, of intergenerational black families, because there are 3 generations of families in the book and also on the screen. You know, I'm really interested in subverting the orthodox narratives and in telling stories that haven't been told, and reinvigorating what we think we know about certain demographics.
It will spark conversation when they can chat to their loved ones. And,
Yeah.
You know, just be open and honest and authentic and live their true life. There's no time to waste. No time to waste. We need to live.
There's a lot of humour, there's a lot of pathos in the book, but ultimately it goes back to the great quote at the start of the book from James Baldwin. Not everything you face can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. And I think that is the real takeaway from this novel and from this series, is that, you know, you have to be brave, and I think you'll find that people are far more accommodating than you think.